Hey everybody, it's Greg Rice. We're here in Warwick, Rhode Island. We're with the Executive Director of the Rhode Island Dental Association, Mr. Aaron Guckian.
How you doing? Good to see you again.
Aaron and I became friends over the past couple of years, and this year you took over as director. So tell us a little bit about that and your role here.
Yeah, well, obviously everyone knew I ran for lieutenant governor and came up a little short. And after that occurs, you take a little bit of pause, get through the holidays. I did some consulting work, and the great thing about going on campaigns and going out in the community is you run into people. And there was an opportunity here, and I was interviewed, and I was very grateful to get this position accepted from the board, and it's been a great experience. I didn't know a lot about dentistry, but the more I learn about it, the more I see it on commercials. I see it, the dentists and all the specialists, on every basically street corner, and how important oral health is to the community at large.
And what would you say you've learned that you were like, wow, I didn't even know. I had no idea.
Well, a couple of things. I think, the average age of the dentist in Rhode Island is 62 years old. And that across the country, that's a kind of a dangerous age in a sense that we don't have enough young dentists to, kind of backfill. Second, I didn't realize that in regards to hygienists and dental assistants, that there's a real, again, kind of across right now, the whole economy, we don't have enough people. And in those particular roles, the hygienists and dental assistants, we need more of them. So, I've taken a tour of the in CCRI in Lincoln. It's the only accredited hygiene school in the state. And it's an unbelievable value for people that, want to get into the workforce pretty quickly. For hygienists, it's 2 years. Dental assistant, I believe it's 1 year. And for the hygienists, I know it's $10,000 a year, which is extremely competitive in this region. So, and I know that it's a very, very good starting salary. So one of the things I also, unfortunately learned was that, our reimbursement rates here in Rhode Island are not good. And you go across the state and in the region, you'll get 30% more in any of those dental careers, whether you're a dentist, hygienist, or dental assistant. So,
reimbursement meaning?
Meaning that, I've also learned that in the Affordable Care Act, the two parts of healthcare that weren't under that umbrella were optometry, which is the eyes, and dentistry. With all the insurance companies, which is different than regular insurances, they almost give you a gift card. So it's, here's $2,000 to use as you'd like. And if you have some sort of major issue, then you got to come out of pocket. So, for example, I just had a root canal. It's the first time I had a dental issue in my life. And so a root canal is about $2,000. But then after that, there needs to be a little more work done, and then they usually have to put a crown on that particular tooth. And that usually can run you between $1,500 to $2,000. So you have this issue where, especially if you have a bigger issue with multiple teeth, it can get very expensive and they don't cover it.
Right.
So it's very difficult. And then I call it a straddle effect, where let's just say I needed a root canal now, I get it done, and then I wait till the next year to get the crown. So I'm using my quote gift card or the insurance correctly. The problem is that puts a ton of pressure on the dentists, because they really have to schedule correctly. And right now, certain specialists are going out like 9 months to a year, because the biggest thing is we have only less than 20 oral surgeons to service 1 million people, and it's just unmanageable and it won't work. So, we're really pushing for this legislative session for 2024, this new bill, and I don't know if you wanted me to talk about it. So, something that when I came in that was already submitted and was trying to go through the House and Senate and stalled, they call it for further study, was something called medical loss ratio, or MLR, or I say MLA if you're in Rhode Island. But it's basically something that originated in Massachusetts, which was on referendum in November of last year, which passed by 72% of the voters. So now it's finalizing in the regulatory system over there. It went to vote. It wasn't legislated. So it's mandated that they do this, which 83 cents to the dollar has to go to patient care rather than administrative costs. So it's kind of patients over profits. So, we'll be submitting a bill in this year to try to mirror that, to get 83 cents to the dollar to go to patient care, which will hopefully increase those premiums for people to, for their dental, work. In addition, if that is passed, then, we'll be able to attract or keep, the people that are here already in our dental community, because then the reimbursements will be more competitive.
Right.
So it's all about reimbursement rates, and it's all about, workforce, supply and demand, and we need more of these people to come here and to stay here.
I feel that's interesting. It's similar to trades. People aren't getting into contractors' trades. They don't want to be a plumber. They don't want to be an electrician. And it sounds like they don't want to be a dentist either.
Well, I think that, and I'm glad you brought this up, my father and my Uncle Pat were in the local 51 union, and I know, I talked to their business agent, and it's similar. It's like the average age, I think, across the country of a plumber or a steam fitter is about 55. So one of the biggest things I've always talked about is shop and those types of pathways for students in high school, and they took shop out of the high schools, and I was really an advocate, and I still am, to keep those there. We have great technical schools, but if you're I remember when I was in middle school, the chances that I would think of, I need to go to a technical school at that age were not going to happen. My friends were there, but there was shop right there. Now I'm a musician, so I decided to go into music classes. I play trumpet and sing, but I think that I do believe that, that New England Tech, and there's more of a push now than ever to get these people or kids involved. And one of the big things I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the schools and start talking about the careers in dentistry. I'm hoping to bring some of those professionals, because I'm not a dentist, and kind of talk about the opportunities. I think the other thing that I saw, I just came back from the American Dental Association, their national conference, they call it SmileCon in Orlando, is the cost to be a dentist. So different than the hygienist, which I think is a real value at the community college in Rhode Island, Lincoln campus, Flanagan campus. If you go to a private dental school like Tufts or Boston University, they can come up with almost $500,000 in debt, which is a tremendous amount of money to come in and to try to open up a practice. So it's one of the things that they're talking about nationally. There's UConn has a great dental school. We do not have a dental school in Rhode Island. I've been talking a little bit to the different schools in Rhode Island to maybe an oral surgery residency or something that we can start to build the pipeline a little bit. But, there's a whole process they call CODA and different things you have to do, so none of this can happen quickly.
How about schools? Are you involved in any elementary, middle schools talking about oral health? What do you do in the community?
Well, we're just starting this up, or I, and I've been working with different partners. There's a woman named Professor Carrie Friel at CCRI, and she's part of those programs to kind of try to highlight CCRI. I've been onboarding for the last 6 months. I'm really hoping to kind of get into the schools and maybe I've been talking to Colgate and some other, major companies in the dental world to hopefully, get some product, get some of, what they use nationally to educate, specifically our middle school children and maybe our freshmen, sophomores on the prerequisites that you need to take to then be able to go into these dental careers. So I know that for me, if I ask my kids, I have 3 daughters, 20, 15, and 12. We grew up in East Greenwich, but what do you know about the prerequisites for these types of spots, and or for kids that want to get into the trades? What do you have to do? I remember my dad had to take some math classes and different things, and the only I know is to go into the schools to do the outreach and to communicate, and then hopefully it's top of mind and maybe you reach a few kids. But I had to kind of educate myself on dentistry, and because I really, I started from scratch, albeit I understood sort of the big sort of policy issues that were affecting healthcare. But for dentistry specifically, I really kind of had to catch up, and I've now sort of completed that sort of first onboarding, and I'm anxious to get out there and work in the community and kind of spread the message.
Awesome. And last thing, anything that the folks at home can do to get involved, to contribute, to just get behind you in any way?
Well, I mean, the Rhode Island Dental Association, we're here on Centerville Road. It's, the phone number is 401-825-7700. We do field calls from the community about people that can't get into a dentist or have emergencies. One of the things that we're trying to do through the budget, through Medicaid, state Medicaid, is allocate or earmark enough money where our oral surgeons and our periodontists could do a surgery center, because one of the biggest things for our special needs community specifically is anesthesia. And right now it's not worth it. When I say not worth it, it's probably not the right word, but the hospitals get paid more with other specialists. So, but the need, especially, it's one thing if you have a bad ankle, sprain your ankle, you can limp around. But if you have if you've got a tooth problem, it's very immediate. And our great doctors, our pediatric dentists, and our oral surgeons, we're hoping that maybe this passes through the budget so we could get these surgery centers to kind of take the pressure off the emergency rooms and get the special needs community and other people the care they need at the the right time frame. So a lot of great things happening in Rhode Island. I think that we're going to really make a push in the legislative session, and I think we have a great chance to get this over the finish line, because as Mass goes, if Rhode Island doesn't go, we're going to be in big trouble quickly.
Interesting. Well, if you have any questions for Aaron, put them in the comment field below, and we'll get right back to you. Once again, Greg Rice here with Aaron Guckian, Executive Director of the Rhode Island Dental Association. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.